Hello, thanks for joining me again. We just finished the book of James and looking at encouraging highlights, and now we're going to look at the book of 1 Peter. So I'm glad to take this opportunity with you again. And Peter starts out in 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 6 through 9. Of course, this is the Peter who was the apostle and the disciple of Jesus Christ. And he answers the age-old question that every godly person is asked: why are there trials in life? Why would God do it? It's hard sometimes to reconcile the goodness of God and a tough season. And yet, Peter just tells us it can actually be a season of indescribable joy. That sounds almost outrageous. I think the question is rooted in the idea of what's important to God and what's important to me. Peter deals with that issue in these verses, just letting us know that God has great priorities for us, and we have to keep our eyes on that. So let me just read for you in 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 6. In this you rejoice, although now for a little while you may have to suffer through various trials, so that the genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold that is perishable, even though tested by fire, may prove to be for praise, glory, and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. So what he's telling us there is that we can go through really fiery circumstances. Why, God? Why are you allowing this to happen to me? Peter says it's because God has a great priority over our lives, and that is the genuineness of our faith. The Lord doesn't want us to go through life thinking that we have a real saving faith, when truly it might just be a faith that we inherited from our parents, or a convenient faith, or a seasonal kind of thing. And Peter is telling us that what God is working towards is that when we stand before him someday, that we'll have true saving faith. So in this life, God tests the genuineness of our faith. Now, does it mean that God doesn't know where our faith is at right now? Well, of course he knows that. But he wants us to know. As we're going through this life, a fiery trial comes, and then we have to lay hold of God. We really get hold of him. And that proves to us, hey, this faith is really working for me. I'm not just a fair weather friend of God. I can go through any season. And Peter says this is a test that will result, by the fire being applied, of a real golden faith coming forth in our lives. So sometimes when I'm going through a hard time, I question God and saying, God, are you not desiring good for me right now? And the Lord is saying, oh, absolutely I am. But this is a season about the genuineness of your faith, because ultimately that's the best good thing that can happen to you. And then he says this: although you have not seen him, you love him. Even though you do not see him now, yet believe in him, you rejoice with an indescribable and glorious joy as you attain the goal of your faith, the salvation of your souls. God is telling us here that you can have joy in the middle of a trial, because here's the ultimate goal and reason for why we have faith: the salvation of our souls. So today, if you're going through a hard time, just say, thank you, God. I rejoice in you. This is an opportunity for you